We've got one tired girl here. Bollock. Bollock. Good evening, my babies. Hi. For all of my subscribers or anyone that's watching this video, I am so sorry about my lack on YouTube. I mean, now that my documentary has been announced and aired, you'll know why I was so quiet. So I filmed the I think it was supposed to be 4 weeks filming. I ended up filming it for ages. I had to isolate twice, so that pushed it back, and with filming, nothing ever goes simple, ever. Like, it always runs over. And you always film like probably triple, maybe quadruple the amount that actually goes into something. So when you watch something, like, that's not all that's been filmed. Like, there's so many scenes that weren't in it, and yeah, like filming does take a long time. And obviously I had days off. I wasn't filming 24 hours, 7 days a week for that whole time, obviously, but because of what the documentary was about, I was just so emotionally drained. And I was having chats with like the show's psychologist. So with TV, most TV programs, you will have like psych checks and everything. And because of the nature of the documentary, I had them all throughout, and I'd have chats with him all the time, and I just genuinely felt so like drained in myself. And even days when I was happy, like, I'd wake up, I'd be fine, I was fine, but like I would just feel so tired. And some days I'd just lay on the sofa. If I didn't have Malia, I'd just be like, I'm just gonna chill out today. And so filming YouTube wasn't really something that was like on the top of my list of priorities, as much as I love it. And for everyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, so they've just released a documentary. It's called Domestic Violence and Me, Mia's Story, and it basically followed my journey of learning more about domestic violence, sharing my story. If you've, subscribed to my YouTube for a while, you'll see a bit lower down there's a video of me saying what happened to me. And then after that video, I've obviously in contact with MTV, and I work with them a lot. So they got in contact, and we basically decided to make this documentary, and it turned out like a million times better than I ever thought it was going to. Like, I couldn't even picture what it was going to be like, and I was just so proud when I finally saw it. I was so nervous for it to go out, because I'm one of those people where, I'm not going to lie to you, when something serious happens or something bad happens, I am the worst of advice. Like, I will just go, oh, like, or ah. And even though I've been through the situation myself, I still felt so uncomfortable at the start, thinking like, what do I say to people? Like, do you say I'm so sorry? Or yeah, I'm not the right person in those sort of situations. And in the documentary, if you haven't watched it, you can watch it on Now TV, you can watch it on MTV Catch Up on Sky, I believe. You can watch it on the MTV Play app, and they have a free trial as well for 7 days. So even if you just want to watch that, you can do that. But in the documentary, I go and meet Kirsty, who is a lady called Gemma's sister, and Gemma took her own life. I try not to cry because I've cried so much, but after her ex-boyfriend like brutally attacked her. And I remember before I went into film with her, I was going, right, what do I say? Do I say sorry for your loss? Do I say I'm thinking of you? Like, I'm so bad with words. So I was so nervous about filming it. And then after filming it, obviously that's done, but it coming out, I was so nervous that people were going to be like, oh, you shouldn't have said that, or oh, I don't agree with that. But the response has been nothing but good. I've had like a couple of bad comments, but I was so nervous for it to come out. But basically that's why I have been so absent on YouTube. But I am back. I just wanted to talk to you as well about my hair first things first. It is grown so much. These are my extensions, but this is my natural hair. Yeah, that's my natural hair. Look how long it's got. Like, that's just the top layer of my hair, because I can't get the bottom layer out. But I've been using my Hairburst, this packet's almost all gone, the chewable hair vitamins for like how long now? If you've watched all my videos, I've been using them for so long, and they are just getting better and better. My hair is getting shinier and shinier and thicker and longer and longer. Like, I basically, like, that's my extensions and that's my hair. Like, I basically don't even really need extensions anymore. They are just so incredible. So I'm going to pop my link in the description, and also my 20% off code. They've got new shampoo and conditioners out as well, which are amazing. The fig and vanilla one for damaged and dry hair, so good. Like, I just cannot recommend it enough. But yeah, these vitamins, for everyone that doesn't know, you take 2 a day. They taste like sweets, and I always go to eat more, and I'm like, what are you doing? And they've got loads of vitamins in, and they're basically for healthier, shinier, thicker and longer hair. Like, they just work a treat. I'd say after about 6 weeks-ish, I started feeling a difference, but looking at a difference. I mean, my extensions are like, what, 26 inches, and my hair is like, it's so long. And my hair never normally grows. And also, I feel like what it's done is that my hair will grow, but then I'll have really bad split ends, whereas I don't have split ends at the moment. Like, I got it trimmed not long ago, and yeah. So the chewable hair vitamins from Hairburst, really recommend. Go and grab some, use my code, trust the process. Obviously it's not overnight, but yeah, it's absolutely incredible. I put a question box on Instagram just if anyone had any questions, and I thought this would just be my first YouTube back, and I'll just answer some of your questions. A lot of them about the documentary and sort of normal life. So if you haven't watched the documentary, please do. But for everyone that has, I am now an ambassador for NDAS, which is the Northamptonshire Domestic Abuse Service. And someone has asked, what does being the ambassador involve? So I've never been an ambassador before in my life, and my main focus is just to raise as much awareness as I possibly can. Obviously in hopes I'll also raise some money for the charity too, but what I'm going to do is spread as much awareness through social media as I possibly can. So in the documentary, you'll see that we made like key art for Instagram, so like posters to sort of grab people's attention and just raise awareness. There's a lot of people messaged me saying, I didn't even realise that my boyfriend, I knew our relationship wasn't good, but like, I didn't realise that what he is or was doing is abuse, and I'm going to take the right steps that I need to. I'm going to speak to my friend. And when you think, is that because of me, because I've spoken out and said what I've said, like, it is a crazy feeling. But that's what also my role includes with NDAS, so just raising as much awareness as I possibly can. My audience is like 96% women, so that's just what I'm gonna do. And I also want to spread a lot of positivity. I feel like you can talk about the darkness of, you know, like domestic violence and everything so much, and it's so dark, but I also think I want to spread light, because I want people that are in that situation to look at me or look at what I'm saying and think, okay, it gets better. If I'm just here crying all the time and saying, yeah, it's really bad and I'm really down, which obviously, like, that's the truth of it, and you've probably seen me cry quite a few times now about it and about life, but I want, you know, if that was me watching me, I'd be like, well, probably better off in my relationship than leaving and being that sad. Do you know what I mean? So I want to show more light, and even just whether it's posting positive quotes, like, or just positive things on my Instagram stories every day, just to bring people up, and show, do you know what, like, it might seem like it's impossible to leave, but I promise you it's not, and you will be okay. Also, NDAS have refuges, and I actually went to one of their refuges, and it was probably one of the most eye-opening things I've ever done. The women there were, I thought I was going to walk in and they were just going to be really sad and people were going to be crying, because these women have been literally dragged away from their whole life, whether it's their family, their friends, their jobs. To me, if that was me, I would probably stare at a blank wall all day, every day. But when I walked in, they were cooking, they cooked me dinner, we were all like laughing together, and they shared their stories, which, like, oh, they give me shivers to this day, but they were happy. And when I left, I thought, you know when you're in shock, because you're like, these women have literally, they're in hiding, like, 2 of them had children, and so that touched me even more, because I was like, imagine if I was taken from my family, my friends, my life, my job, and was just put in this house with other women that I didn't know, with Malia. Like, I couldn't even imagine that. But then coming out of it, I thought, they're just making the best out of a bad situation, and to them, they're just grateful to be safe and away from the abuse. And yeah, that was so eye-opening. I cried and cried and cried, but they were just, we were dancing, like, they played some of their music from their country, because some of them were from different countries, and they were just absolutely amazing. Honestly, I will treasure those moments with them for the rest of my life. Like, they were just so incredible, and they were so happy, and yeah, it was just amazing to be there with them. And I think also what I will say is refuges they're safe places. Like, they cook dinner together every day. And I know, you know, if anyone's watching this that feels like they might at some point soon need a refuge because they need to flee, like, they were safe and they had each other, and they were just so grateful to just be okay. But yeah. And my long-term plan as well, not just with NDAS and being an ambassador, but I really want to do a girls' brunch. Now, hear me out with this, right? I don't know how it would work, but what I have in my head is like a big room with games, raffles, Prosecco or non-alcoholic Prosecco for anyone that doesn't drink, and just like a fun day where we can raise some money and other survivors can come together and people can talk. And anyway, it's massive jumbled up in my head, but I'm gonna make it happen next year, I swear. Like, watch this space. Someone asked, did you tell Manly what happened to you? So I didn't tell Manly directly. I told Maggie, his mum, because Malia was with her dad the night it happened, and the next day I obviously rang to say, like, I'm in a bad way, this has happened. Maggie, his mum, cried, and then she told him. But yeah, I didn't directly speak to him about it. Someone said, will you do more types of these? It was great, albeit the subject type being tough. I don't know what albeit means. I'm so but will I do more? I'd love to do more. I think I felt like it gave my, like, sort of path and career a purpose, instead of just putting up like, oh yeah, like, I love this outfit, look at this outfit, or I went and got my hair done here. Actually doing something, it's given me, I feel like it's given me a purpose in my own life. Obviously Marley is my purpose in life, but like in my own personal life, I feel like it's given me a proper purpose, and I would love to do more things like that. I feel like I've come away from it feeling like I've done good, if that makes sense. So I would love to, like, honestly, so many of these as well, like loads of them. I was in a DV relationship for 8 years. Proud of you for being open. Like, it's just, it affects so many women. Do you think people can change? I personally think that's a very hard question, because I feel like, who am I to sit here and say people can't change? I feel like you know, if I feel like I'm doing something in my life that someone doesn't like, or I'm with someone or whatever, you have the power to change it. What I will say is, I think if someone wants to, they can. There's help out there. I sat with a perpetrator who had done a perpetrator's course, and his wife has said that he was completely different and it's changed their whole but all of their lives. I think if someone wants to, they will, but I think if it has to be for them. If someone, for example, is like, oh, I'll change if you stay with me. Like, no, they have to really deep inside see what their actions and the way they think and the way they're acting is wrong for them to want to change. You know, I'll change for you if you stay with me. They have to really understand, because you can't, okay, for example, so just an example, right? So I can really get into the gym, and I can get into the gym 5 days a week where I'm loving it. But I have to get into it and want to change my lifestyle or my appearance or whatever it is I want to change. For me, there's been times when, you know, I've done it because I thought, oh, you know, like, I'm gonna do it because, you know, my boyfriend goes to the gym or whatever. Like, that's not enough, because then you lose the motivation. So that might be a really bad example, I don't know. But I believe people can, if they really want to for them, but not if it's just for somebody else, just to save the relationship. Or yeah, I mean, that's a really controversial question. I feel like there's probably loads of different opinions. I personally wouldn't stick around for somebody to change, because I feel like the damage would already be done for me, and I feel like that'd be it. So if I was in a situation and someone said, you know, I'm going to change, I don't think I'd stick around, because I think I've been there, done that, and no, the change never happened. Someone said, I felt inspired by you, you're amazing, I want to know how you got into your job. I mean, I got pregnant when I was 18 and went on a reality TV show. That's how I've got my job. But in terms of actually being an influencer, the biggest advice I can give if someone you want to get into like influencing or social media, is you need to be really consistent with your content, which I'm not. I can go like a week and a bit without posting, but if you're trying to build following, I'd say like be really consistent, make like an aesthetically pleasing page, because, you know, we want people to click onto it and go, oh, I'm going to follow. And find your like sort of focus, you know, whether you're a mum and you want to do like mummy blogging, that's always incredible, or you are so good with fashion like I'm not. I mean, this is my like go-to fashion. I've got a top from PLT on and some Nike high-waisted leggings. Like, my fashion doesn't go any further than this. But, you know, there's so many amazing accounts that I go on and I look at them and I'm like, wow. So, you know, if you're into fashion and you love styling people, styling yourself, then that's a really good thing. You can do that. I mean, I feel like I found my focus with just talking. That's all I do on Instagram. Like, on the odd occasion, I think you'll see a nice outfit. On the odd occasion, you'll see some mummy blogging. Most of the time, it's just me just moaning about something, or I don't really know, or Malia being crazy. But yeah. Someone said, never realised how much my ex mentally and emotionally abused me until the show. I've had so many of them, and I feel like you don't. Like, I would look back and I remember little things that happen and be like, oh my God, I wouldn't even put that down to being abuse. There's so many things that someone can do and say and it's abuse, like it's wrong. But it's just dismissed. It's like, yeah, well, you annoyed me, or yeah, you made me angry. Like, no, that's wrong. And I think that's what needs to be recognised, because it gets worse. It gets worse, and that's what I think is so important to know. I brushed past so many things at the start where I was like, oh, okay, and it gets worse and worse and worse until you're in a downward spiral. You feel trapped, you feel like you can't leave. It literally feels like, yeah, it feels like it's easier to stay than to leave, and that's saying something when you're miserable every single day. Someone even wrote here saying, I've not watched it yet, I'm going to in a bit. I know it's going to be hard for me because I'm in a refuge right now, but I just want to say thank you for raising awareness. It means so much. Like, someone's in a refuge right now watching that. Like, there's people in refuges all over the UK, and I just want to go around to every single one of them and hug everyone. I'd like a house for all of us girls. Imagine if we could just build one big house for all of us. Independent, strong girls. I'd love that. Someone just said, how to not feel guilty / worry if I made a mistake ending a relationship because he wasn't growing. Ended a 5-year relationship and I feel guilty / worry I won't forgive myself for letting him go. I mean, I feel like there's a big reason why you ended that relationship, and I feel like if that was right for you at the time, then you can never regret that, if that makes sense. Like, I think, I saw a saying the other day and it was like, what's meant for you won't pass you by, and I feel like that is just so true. Like, maybe it will come back, maybe it won't, but I feel like you've ended that for a reason, and I think stand by that. And I think also if they're meant for you and you feel like you have made a mistake, you can fix that. I next week have an Ibiza vlog that I went to Ibiza almost a month ago, okay? Almost a month ago. It still hasn't come on. Like, I'm sorry, okay? I've really slacked. I meant to edit it, I couldn't find my leads, but I've got it now, and that'll be coming next week. But I'll carry on doing more of these girl talks if you guys like them. Send me in your questions if you want to DM me and say this is for YouTube, or keep an eye out on my Instagram for my question boxes for YouTube. And get some chewable vitamins, okay? Treat yourself, please. I will be back next week with my Ibiza vlog, and I love you all.